day.
That would be the second mission, and maybe most challenging. Offshore energy. It is truly the industry's workhorse here. These platforms, these deepwater drilling sites, they're often in extremely remote and inhospitable environments. The S-92 is the vital link. It's ferrying personnel, critical equipment, supplies, often hundreds of miles over open, unpredictable ocean.
And when those conditions get bad, which they always do in places like the North Sea, that's when the third role, search and rescue, kicks in.
Yes, the S-92 is an absolute staple in SAR operations. It conducts these harrowing rescues over roaring seas. It often acts as a life-saving air ambulance in the world's harshest conditions. Its design, the wide cabin, the high endurance, it makes it ideal for that stable hover you need for complex hoist operations.
Right, when failure is simply not an option.
Precisely. Then you have the more straightforward but still demanding transport roles. We have executive transport. Here, the focus on maximizing productivity. The aircraft is quiet, it's roomy, flexible, very safe. And then the fifth category, utility, which is all about high reconfigurability.
That utility configuration seems to be where the versatility really shines. It has a stand-up cabin, great cargo capacity, both internal and external, and that full-width rear ramp. It's a literal blank slate for whatever mission you need.
And that flexibility leads to some surprising new roles. We saw a specific example with VIH helicopters. They successfully deployed the S-92A utility configuration for firefighting missions in Western Canada.
Firefighting. That's a huge functional pivot from offshore supply to precision fire suppression. How do you even accommodate that?
It's the internal space and the power plant. The high lift capability lets it carry these large underslung water buckets. And the internal design means it can quickly reconfigure to transport personnel or critical supplies using that rear ramp for fast loading. It just proves the original design had this built-in capacity for extreme new demand.
Okay, so if we connect that mission demand back to the investment, it suggests Sikorsky knows that the utility of this platform has to be backed up with cutting-edge tech. And that brings us to the biggest headline in the sources.
It does. This commitment is tangible. We're talking more than $100 million invested in sustaining and enhancing the commercial S-92 platform. And this isn't just minor maintenance. This is a transformative technical upgrade.
Let's talk about the heart of that investment. Sikorsky unveiled the S-92 Phase 5 main gearbox, the MGB. A $100 million upgrade implies this isn't just an optimization, this is a fundamental change. Was there a known failure risk this was designed to specifically mitigate?
That's a fair and critical question. The S-92 was already certified for what's called extended run-dry capability. But in the world of commercial aviation, you always want redundant systems, especially when you're flying over deep water. So this investment was proactive. It was designed to eliminate the single most feared catastrophic event in a twin-engine helicopter: primary gearbox oil pressure loss.
Okay, so let's focus on that Phase 4V MGB.
Yeah.
What's the core technical change that justifies that nine-figure investment?
What's fascinating here is the introduction of the auxiliary lubrication system. This is the game changer. In the event that primary oil pressure is completely lost, say from a leak or damage, this system automatically engages.
And the so what? I mean, in a conventional helicopter, if you lose primary oil pressure over water, that is an immediate life or death emergency landing. How does this system change the pilot's decision matrix?
It fundamentally rewrites the procedure. The auxiliary system allows the crew to safely maintain flight and reach their destination, or at least a safe landing zone on shore, without that immediate requirement for an emergency ditching. Picture a pilot 200 miles offshore. That system literally turns a life or death decision, followed by a harrowing rescue, into a controlled flight home.
That is a profound mental and operational shift. It's transforming a catastrophe into a manageable incident. Let's talk operational benefits then, because safety and reliability are also huge cost drivers. How did all those millions of hours of data lead to practical financial returns for operators?
Well, the data gave Sikorsky the confidence to increase the inspection intervals for the S-92 fleet. They also offered a one-time life extension for specific main gearbox housings, which shows real confidence in the engineering.
And what was the measurable benefit of those changes? How much time did they truly give back?
It's enormous. These enhancements, together, they eliminate more than a full year of downtime that would have been mandatory for inspections. The specific earned life credit is up to 1,200 hours, or 3,600 ground cycles.
1,200 hours. That figure by itself is huge. But for our listeners who might not be in the offshore sector, how does that translate into, revenue generation?
Okay, so for an average S-92 operator in that demanding offshore world who might fly 80 to 100 hours a month, that credit is huge. It translates directly to an additional 12 to 18 months of continuous service without that major scheduled downtime. And for some other operators, it's over 24
An
months.
extra year and a half of service.
Exactly. Think about the cost of keeping a high value asset, which can earn tens of thousands per flight hour, grounded. Avoiding that year plus of downtime, even sporadically, is a massive increase in fleet availability and revenue. It changes the economic life cycle of the helicopter.
That's a huge financial win, backed by data and engineering. So let's look forward. Beyond upgrading the existing fleet, there's the newest iteration, the S-92A plus helicopter. What advantages does this model bring?
The S-92A Plus integrates all these lessons into a new platform. First, it has two new General Electric CT7 8A6 turboshaft engines.
Why those specific engines? What's the performance impact?
They deliver more power, specifically for operating in high and hot conditions, so higher altitudes, hotter temperatures. This is crucial because performance degrades when air density drops, so they maintain a better margin for safety and payload in those demanding environments.
And beyond the raw power.
The A Plus includes what they call gross weight expansion, or GWE, with Life Plus. This means they've done the structural analysis to certify the aircraft for higher maximum takeoff weights.
Which translates directly to more payload capability.
Exactly. That GWE expansion means an extra 1,200 pounds of payload, so you get more power and more capacity. And importantly, the S-92A Plus comes standard with that Phase 4V main gearbox. That $100 million safety enhancement, the auxiliary lubrication system, is integrated right from the factory.
So the company's entire commitment to safety and performance is now standard on their newest offering. That's a comprehensive strategy.
It is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you can't run a 2.4 million hour fleet without robust global support. So the company is actively reinforcing those support structures to back up this enhanced fleet.
What does that global support strategy look like in practice?
We see two major strategic moves. First, a long-term support agreement with Bristow Group Inc. Bristow is the global leader in vertical flight, and they also happen to own the world's largest fleet of S-92s. So locking in that enhanced support for a crucial partner ensures stability for a massive portion of the fleet.
And what about localized expertise in high-demand regions like South America?
That's the second move. Sikorsky, with partners Healy 1 and Milestone, established a center of excellence for S-92s in Brazil. This is all about enhancing support for those intense South American operations, providing rigorous fleet services right where the aircraft are flying. It shows a commitment to maintenance reliability that matches their commitment to hardware innovation.
So what does this all mean? We've seen that the S-92 isn't just a reliable workhorse. It's a continuously evolving platform. That investment of over $100 million. It wasn't just about tweaking performance. It was about delivering tangible safety and economic value. You see it in that critical auxiliary lubrication system and that massive 1,200 hours of life credit given back to operators.
It means that knowledge is most valuable when it's applied to solve real-world high-stakes problems. That Phase 4 vein MGB is a perfect case study of engineering mitigating existential risk, ensuring missions, whether it's carrying a world leader or a rescue at sea, remain fundamentally safe, even in the event of a catastrophic failure.
Absolutely. The engineering that goes into guaranteeing that is astounding. So here's a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to explore on your own. Given that 13 nations entrust this specific aircraft for head of state transport, and given the new technical baseline set by that auxiliary lubrication system, how might this standard influence future procurement requirements for VVIP and government air travel globally? Does this $100 million innovation just become the new minimum expectation for safety, something for you to mull over? Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at an airframe that, well, it really occupies one of the most demanding niches in global aviation. We're talking about the S-92 Advanced Transport Helicopter from Sikorsky, a Lockheed Martin company. And this isn't just some curiosity. This is the machine operators bet the farm on. It's trusted by governments and high-risk commercial fleets alike.
It really is. It's the definition of a mature platform that's still seeing massive, massive investment. And when you look at the scale of its deployment, the story kind of writes itself. We're talking about a global fleet of over 300 aircraft. And critically, they've racked up over 2.4 million flight hours.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just a phenomenal reservoir of real-world operational data. It informs every single decision about the platform's future.
Okay, let's unpack that. That blend of massive operational time and continuous investment. That's what defines this deep dive. Our mission today is to understand that global role, focusing first on the high-stakes missions. Then we'll drill down into those huge recent technological investments, and yes, we do mean 9 figures, and the concrete benefits they provide to you, the operator.
Exactly. And the starting point really has to be its versatility. It's designed not to specialize in just one thing, but to excel in environments from, urban corporate transport all the way to 200 miles offshore in a North Sea gale.
I find that contrast fascinating. It has to meet the non-negotiable safety standards for a head of state, but also have the brute strength of an industrial workhorse. Let's dive into that variety of missions.
Well, the sources outline 5 core mission types, and the first one really sets the bar for safety. Head of state transport, we are talking about 13 nations globally that specifically entrust the S-92 to transport their government leaders.
13 nations.
And that choice is driven purely by safety and, operational reliability statistics.
So if 13 nations are staking their national security on this airframe, the regulatory bar is as high as it gets. What about the commercial side? Where is it earning its keep day to day?
That would be the second mission, and maybe most challenging: offshore energy. It is truly the industry's workhorse here. These platforms, these deepwater drilling sites, they're often in extremely remote and inhospitable environments. The S-92